Welcome to Gears TV. Fuck it, let's live.
Did somebody say fuck it, let's light up? Well, fuck it. Let's light up. And before we go any further, let me bring on my little buddy. Hey JD.
Hey, wizard. How we doing this fine? What month is it? I almost said October evening. April. How we doing this fine
April,
April evening?
October,
Same.
they have so much in common.
Oh.
They do though, because you can get peeps in October. They make Halloween peeps.
You're a man who lives your life one peep season to the next.
Sadly,
And
kind of, sorta.
you know, as much as I might not love the peeps, I respect that. I respect that you have some sort of
Peeps, and
month
every
thing keeping you
Easter
going.
there has to be one hollow chocolate bunny.
Oh, fuck the hollow chocolate bunny.
No, I love the hollow chocolate bunny.
Ugh.
And not even the good chocolate. It's got to be
I know.
that
I know
kind
what
of
you mean.
sketchy chocolate. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta
no,
have
I don't
one,
like. I guess if you're gonna have it, you could have one, but I don't.
and it's got
I,
to
I
have the
don't like the
candy
hollow
eyes,
chocolate.
and it's got to have the candy carrot.
Yeah, that's the world's cheapest chocolate. It really is. It's like
It is.
that
It is.
chocolate. It's like it tastes too milky somehow. You're like,
And
we all like milk chocolate,
I
but
don't even like milk chocolate really.
huh?
But there's just something about Easter and the hollow chocolate bunny. You eat in the ears.
You know what I think it is? I think when you were a kid, you just really liked it at Easter time, and now it just maybe takes you back to that. That's my guess.
Yeah, except those weird marshmallowy candy covered eggs.
Weird marshmallowy candy
I
covered
don't
eggs.
want
Maybe.
those. Those things are horrible.
I don't know if I know those.
I
Jewish
don't
man
even know
here,
what
so
they're
I didn't.
called, but they're awful.
Easter candy was not as big a thing in my Jewish household, so I never had a peep until I was an adult.
I thought y'all might do like the, hey, Easter's over. Let's go get
So
the candy.
go and get the candy. Nah. I mean, yes, that is or maybe, but like it would have been like the Reese's Hearts. You know what I mean? Like it would have been like just the normal candy. Oh, Cadbury cream eggs. I guess that's technically an Easter candy.
I see.
Is it?
I don't. Yeah, it is, but I
Okay.
don't like those.
No. I mean, I'm
I've
indifferent.
tried and tried and tried and.
Yeah. You want to
Ew.
like them, right? Like you
I
think they're going
do.
to be great, but
I
then that
feel like
cream.
I
Yeah.
should like them.
Agreed.
Okay, speaking of candy,
Yeah.
these are new.
Oh, I just felt my heart stop with love and cholesterol.
And this being the week of the high holiest of holidays, that being, of course, 420 and WrestleMania,
Yes. A
I
blessed
thought
WrestleMania 420 week to all.
I thought I would try one.
Well,
So we have.
you're not gonna save it for Mania.
Well, I'm going to save the other one,
Okay.
but we're going to have one now on camera,
Let's do
documented.
it. You doing the grape or the strawberry? I'm
We're
taking a
doing the
picture of these and
grape.
showing it to my kid.
We're doing the grape. We're going to save strawberry. Going to go with grape because I think that's honestly, I think the strawberry might be better with the chocolate. I don't know.
I
We'll
mean,
have to
I
find
like
out.
strawberry jelly donuts better than grape jelly donuts, I think. But I like them both. So that makes sense, kind of, sort of. No, I don't know. I don't know if there's a correlation there. Don't mind me.
It's really good.
Yeah, there was a brief look of near orgasmic pleasure on your face.
Like, it didn't punch me in the face like I thought it would.
Uh,
It was more of a subtle thing. The grape comes through very subtly,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't try to compete with the chocolate and the peanut butter. Nope, that's good. They should do these all year. That's a winner.
Winner, winner, grape dinner.
The Reese's Lava. I tried one of those about a month ago.
Those are good.
I was not impressed.
Okay.
I didn't want another one.
Well, I've had every one for you since then. I have.
Really,
Yeah.
really. So you liked it a lot more than I did.
Mhm.
Like I didn't hate it.
Mhm.
I just didn't. I don't know. Well, we all like different things.
We do, and it
That's
doesn't
what makes
say
life wonderful.
limited edition on there. So I'm wondering if these are going to be just a new year-round thing.
Let's hope so.
Yeah,
Because they
because
are yummy.
usually they do say limited edition. I think. I don't know.
But yeah, folks, it is WrestleMania. It is 420 this weekend. Both at the same time.
Wait, is 420? Okay, today is Wednesday and it's today's Tuesday and it's 4:15. Wednesday 4:16. Thursday 4:17. Friday 4:18. Okay, so 420 is WrestleMania night 2. Oh
And
man.
Easter.
Oh man.
It's like a triple banger.
What a day. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. And I wore the shirt early, but want to know what I'm doing this weekend?
Uh you're
Get
going to get high and
high,
watch wrestling?
watch wrestling.
Nice.
Ron Funches, by the way, the shirt. It doesn't say that, but it is a Ron piece of Ron Funches merchandise. If you've never seen Ron Funches, one of my favorite, very weed friendly, but also wrestling friendly comedians.
I don't know Ron, but
You should look him up.
yeah, I mean, you just he's into what I'm into. So there you go.
He is an incredibly happy man.
Yeah.
Of course, because he smokes a lot
He
of weed.
smokes weed and watches wrestling. What's not to be happy about?
So before we get to the movie,
Yes.
I'm smoking a joint tonight in honor of the joint in the movie. I just thought it opens with a joint. That would be appropriate. They don't smoke it for a long time, but they open with it.
There's not a ton of weed smoking in this movie, it turns out.
More than Friday, though.
Yeah, and
Next Friday has more weed smoking than Friday.
it does. And I think you and I might have slightly different definitions of stoner cinema, but we can talk about that as it goes on. I think I might just have a broader net that I cast than you might.
And that's
Yeah,
okay because we can all have our own boundaries.
1,000%.
We're open. But in the movie, Craig rolls his joint with no crutch. Old school. I, however, rolled my joint with a crutch. What is the
Yeah.
thinking on crutches? Like,
Well, first, for the people watching at home, what is a crutch?
what is a crutch? Who doesn't know what a crutch is these days? No, I understand. Some people don't. Or perhaps you know it by another name. Uh, sometimes it's called a filter. It's not,
Mhm.
except in the most rudimentary. That's a fun one to say. Rudimentary way.
It
But
filters the fire from getting to your lips.
it filters the Scoobies, we like to call them.
Mm.
Without one of these, when you go to hit the joint, you get pieces of weed in your mouth, and then you
Right.
got to.
Yep.
And who wants to do that? Especially, if you're like me and smoking at home. I'm a barbarian. I smoke in the house. I smoke everywhere that I can. But I digress. So they keep the Scoobies out of your mouth, and there's no roach. You can smoke almost all the way to the crutch without burning your fingers, without singeing your lips, without burning your mustache. if you still had one.
Yeah, yeah. Calling me out.
I am.
The mustache is gone for now.
JD shaved.
I did. We talked about this before going on the air, but I felt it was time for a change, and we'll see because I am very lazy. But I like it. Took me a little while to get used to the fact that my chin shrunk. That's
Because
always I thought I had like a King Leonidas jaw. I don't. Turns out I don't.
I am sure my chin looks much different than when I grew this.
There's no question about it. Yeah, I'm like I don't think I could even picture you without a. I think you've got like a cherubic shaped face. I believe. I don't know. It's hard to picture you without a beard.
Been a long time.
Yeah,
Oh, so you like the crutch?
like the crutch.
You like the crutch?
I like the crutch.
Like, back in the day, it was hard to get a crutch. Like
Back in the day, there were no crutches. Yeah, I
we
did.
would rip pieces of cardboard off of the pack of joints,
Hmm.
and then you wind up having no cover on your joints, your rolling papers anymore. Did I just call them a pack of joints? Rolling papers. Smoked a lot of this. But yeah, you roll up a little piece of cardboard. You can make, I don't think I can get a focus on this, but
Hmm.
you can make shapes. I usually have an M, sometimes a W. But I've seen fancy ones. I am not that
Sometimes a
patron,
Z,
nor
depending on
that good.
that MW could
Uh,
be a Z.
or sometimes you can just have a little spiral.
Mhm.
But now you can get all sorts of them. Do you have a favorite?
I do not,
Because I'm a nerd, I had to try them all.
of course.
And
I'm
this
gonna
is not
guess.
all of them. This is just all I happen to have around the house at the
I,
moment.
I think your favorite are the raw wide tips.
You know, you might think so.
I do.
Nah, they're way too wide.
So raw narrow. I just feel like it's
Yeah,
got to grow.
unless you're smoking like a king size
Mm.
joint, that might be acceptable, but I still think it's too wide. If I was smoking a king size, maybe. Otherwise, now I want to go with something narrower.
That's what she said.
The regular size raw ones, though, aren't perforated, which the lazier I get and the more I'm rolling, the more I want them to be perforated so it's easy to make the little W.
Uh,
It's easier to start that
or
roll,
yeah.
and it makes a better tip. And I'm lazy because it's tiny too. Yeah, I mean you gotta make tiny little folds in there. It's my fingers. So I like the perforated ones, but no, I kind of Lazy Susan, which is one of the few things I like better than raw anything. Lazy Susan makes a really good tip, and you can get them in 3 colors.
Right on.
I like purple.
Purple is my favorite color, generally speaking.
I like the pink ones too. But you can get the plain brown if you don't like a splash color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so we are pro crutch. Have a preference? Leave a comment. We would love to see that later. Speaking of which, by the way, before we get started, like and subscribe. You know you like it.
Yeah. Do all the things,
You're gonna,
please.
you're gonna forget
We're
if you don't do it now.
we're terrible at telling people to do that. Like, subscribe, set notifications.
Because you're high. I'm high.
We are all
And we are gonna watch next Friday.
because it's Friday. You ain't got shit to do, even though it's Tuesday and I have to work tomorrow. But
Here is DJ Pooh's only role in the movie.
yeah, it almost feels like it was like an afterthought. Like, he wasn't involved in the movie at all, and Ice Cube was like, "Hey, man, come on."
It would be
and get
hard
this
to
thing for you.
explain his presence
Uh-huh.
in this movie. I do want
Well,
to say I felt very justified because last week I felt like you and Jeff insisting that Craig had gotten high before Friday.
right. And he says that he says right here during the opening when I got high for the first time. You're
I
right. I
got
picked
high
up
for
on
the
that too.
first
Yeah.
time.
And so our story opens right as the last movie ended. Debo is laying on the ground, gets arrested. Yeah, I got shot for the first time. I got high for the first time. Debo going to jail for about 4 years. So I think my guess is that in the original version of this script that had Smokey, they probably went to Smokey's family's house in the suburbs. That's just I don't know. I didn't read that anywhere. That's just if
Yeah, who
Smokey was
knows?
gonna be in the movie, if there was some version of the script with Smokey that was a similar script to this, then that's the only one thing that would have really made sense. But
Was there though?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Good question. One of those things. I bet you Jeff would have looked that up, but I'm not good with the research.
I vacillate.
There are a lot of shit jokes in this movie. Like a lot, a lot, a lot. I'll be out in about 35, 45 minutes. There's a fourth wall break right here. He looks at the camera when he says it. Not the first time. I mean, that is not the only time that line is used in this movie either. There,
No,
so
no, this is a fecal heavy movie.
oh my gosh, yeah, Cheech and Chong would have been like blushing over how much shit there was in this movie, and they made an effort to put shit in all of their movies.
I like that Debo is stealing yet another bike.
Yeah, I like that. They're just he heard the rumor that Debo was gonna break out of prison next Friday, and then it's next Friday, and whatever it just it shows Debo and his fellow inmate just hopping over the wall. Just no further story or exposition needed there how that happens. And there we go. That dog shit that is on the ground is now going to be on John Witherspoon's back for the entire movie. That is basically John Witherspoon's entire role in this movie, to be covered in shit, to smell like shit, and to have to take a lot of shits. And it's all funny though.
I do
Laughing
like though,
despite myself.
in
Yeah.
a weird way, that he does not as of yet realize.
Oh yeah, he doesn't realize like maybe ever. He thinks it's mud.
No, no, he definitely figures it out later.
Okay.
It is pointed out to him.
I know it's pointed out to him, but I wasn't sure if he
He just
fully was
doesn't
on
give a
board with
damn.
the theory. Right. Okay.
He just doesn't give a damn.
Yeah. And so Debo, just the whole setup of this movie is Debo breaks out of prison magically, and
And
he
and the
wants to
whole
go
neighborhood
fight
knows
Craig.
he's coming ahead of time,
Yeah,
which
he's coming, and he wants the rematch.
I feel like is a plot hole, but I'm gonna let it go.
There's a lot of plot holes. Plot is something that this movie has not a ton of. Yeah, so there's Debo. It's time for the rematch, Craig. And what is Debo's sycophant friend there? What is his name?
Debo's cousin.
Yeah, that's right. Debo's cousin.
Yeah,
Um,
that's his name.
Suge Knight.
As far as I am concerned,
Yes.
he is Debo's cousin.
And so, borrowing a page out of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air playbook to escape, because he got in one little fight and his mama got scared. So he's moving with his auntie and uncle in Cucamonga. Cucamonga?
Rancho
Rancho
Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga, which is a real place. I had to look that up. That's research I did.
Oh,
Rancho
dude, you had
Cucamonga
to
is
look
real.
that up. You were
Did.
not aware. How? How could you not be aware that Rancho Cucamonga is the home of the Young Bucks?
Oh, see, I didn't know.
Yes, the Young
I think
Bucks
you know
are
I don't like the Young
famously,
Bucks.
famously from Rancho Cucamonga.
No,
Like
well,
it's a big deal.
Rancho
No, oh,
Cucamonga can keep them.
I hate the Young Bucks. I have never been a fan of the Young Bucks from the first time I saw them. I am almost proud to say that.
Any stoners who aren't also wrestling fans, the Young Bucks are very, very beloved somehow. Very overrated.
Amongst a very
Passion.
small
Yes.
and increasingly growing smaller group of
Yes.
fans.
Amongst the 40,000 people who watch AEW. Fake ass Brady Bunch. When I said aunt, by the way, his auntie is one of my favorite parts of the movie. Every scene with her cracks me up. And Elroy. I like Elroy is like a low key MVP.
Yes, very, very much.
Yeah. And of course his cousin, Elroy's son there,
Day Day.
yeah, Day Day. Like it's good. Just they're this movie is not. I think we can just probably agree right off the bat that this movie is not uh, as good a film as Friday. Um,
And
it's lacking some things, but the characters are great.
I I enjoyed spending time with several of these people. Like,
Same. No, I genuinely like this movie, and I think I said last week that I'd seen this movie. I don't know how many times, honestly, because I watched it for what I thought was the first time a couple years ago, but there were lines in it that I absolutely knew. A lot of those lines were said by a certain Mexican character later in the movie. But there were tons of lines in this movie that I knew, so I realized I'd seen it before. So I don't know. I don't know how many times I'd seen this movie, but it never quite stuck with me. And this might have been the first time I ever saw it when I wasn't super high as well. Like I purposefully was like, because I think that's what I think I'd always watch this one like when I'm just too high for it to stick. But yeah, I appreciate it. There he is. What's that actor's name?
Mike Epps.
Mike Epps, not to be confused with Omar Epps. I'm guessing they're brothers.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. But no,
Nope,
okay.
they're not related.
Story wise, there are things that you could say a lot of them,
Mm.
and sometimes I want a really well crafted story,
Uh,
and I want someone to have spent that time and effort and sweated over it. But sometimes I am okay with just enough story to give me a world that is fun to hang out in.
and that brings me to, I think, what my working definition of a stoner movie is. Um, which has sort of been evolving while we've been doing this show. But I think that, like, and I couldn't quite put my finger on what I thought a stoner movie was, but a stoner movie typically is a movie that has weed in some capacity in it, but where the plot is like secondary to the characters and the dialogue. Like a stoner movie has to have memorable characters and like quippy, fun, memorable lines. Like, cause that's the thing. Like when you're a stoner and you're hanging out with your friends, getting high, watching a movie, these lines, just these. And again, there's some from this movie that Mexican character that we just saw said we used to say all the time. Big old titties, hundreds and fifties. We used to like just so a stoner movie has to have a line that you and your has to have lines in it that you and your friends can just whip out frequently for no reason. And this one has tons of those.
I good points all. I don't know that I'd ever put it together quite that way.
Right. Yeah, these are one of these things that, like, again, never thought about it until today when I was watching this. Like, not a ton of smoking weed, not about marijuana. Weed doesn't really play a role in the plot, but I'm still thinking it's a stoner movie. Why? And those were sort of the reasons why I came up with. Like,
No, I am totally fine with calling this a stoner movie in the sense that it is about stoners.
yeah. Yeah, so I love the backstory here. Elroy is, of course, Craig's father's brother. He won $1 million in the lottery. There's a picture of this. The woman there who's grubbing her heart, she is dying in that picture. They took that picture and she died. That was Day Day's mother. But so they won $1 million, and after taxes and everything, they had basically exactly enough money to buy this house and Day Day's car. Uh, and that's another one of the funniest things. When he's looking at the rims, he says these are 20s. Craig's like, these aren't 20s. All right, these are 10s, but I keep them clean. We used to say that. That was too just another one of those like just random lines that got tossed around a lot. Because you know who doesn't have like everybody has 10s. So there's
And
Day
Day Day has a crazy ex-girlfriend.
yeah, who he met. She was 6 months pregnant when they met, but now she is trying hard to get Day Day to believe that he is the baby's father. And this is the auntie. So the real aunt died in that photograph when they won $1 million. his uncle, this woman is a hood rat, or
Ah.
whatever you want to call her, and ghetto princess, whatever. She's the new auntie though, but she is the whole movie just unashamedly just trying to have sex with Craig. And Elroy knows that's just that's the one rule, and one real ground rule in his house is that you don't have sex with his wife. Welcome to anything in my house except what's in the fridge, and don't let me catch you with your finger in my sugar bowl. Okay, so that actor's name, Elroy, is Don D.C. Curry.
And I have seen him in a few things. Like I cannot remember because he's a character actor, and sometimes it's hard for me to put that all together in my brain.
Yeah, well, he was in Friday After Next, which you have not seen yet. Film roles. Nothing that
But
I've
yeah,
ever
I
heard.
know I have seen him in a few things.
He was on Def Comedy Jam, which I did used to watch sometimes. Maybe you saw that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Guest appearances on Steve Harvey Show, Tracy Morgan Show, Everybody Hates Chris. Yeah, a lot of stand-up stuff. Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam, Comics Unleashed, BET's Comic View, Comedy Central Presents. So yeah, all the old late night stand-up stuff. Yeah, here he's telling the origin here. He was always one of those guys, I'll never leave the hood, and then he got the money and he left the hood. But he thinks he's the king of the neighborhood because he's the only person in the neighborhood who bought his house with cash. Right, and I love that that's like, we talked last week about how the characters, as silly as they were, kind of felt like sort of realistic. And as silly as the uncle is, like, yes, this is like somebody who has always been poor, like and now is like attempting to live as like a rich person, right? Like he's living the life of like what a poor person thinks like a rich person should live like just the silk pajamas, He has the pool and the jacuzzi, but of course doesn't have the money to upkeep it. He is living the life of a poor rich man. He spent all of his money just on this house. So, and the Versace robe that he's wearing. Versace is spelled P A Sachi, I think is how he spells it later in the movie. And there's a line here that, like, I can't tell if he flubbed it or not, but he says something like, I met her a couple of months ago, and then he says a couple weeks ago, and then he says a couple months ago. There's like some sort of inconsistency here, and I wasn't sure if it was on purpose or not. Yeah, see, 2 Fridays ago. But then he says, I guess it gets cut, but he says, I broke up with her 2 Fridays ago. Yeah, and then I broke up with her 2 months ago. And then he corrects himself again, and he goes, 2 Fridays ago. So I don't know if that was just like an improv line that made it into the movie that they didn't bother to change, or if it was supposed to be just that he was so like flabbergasted that he was forgetting in his own head the time frame.
I'm gonna guess probably not, but he made it work,
Uh-huh.
and it's something somebody'd say.
Right.
I've
Yeah, because
done
it
it.
felt real. Like it feels like
I've
the type
done
of
it.
thing. Yes, I do it frequently. I have very little concept of time. It was last week. It was 6 months ago. I don't know. Last week, 6 months ago.
That's like, she sell dope, do hair,
Yeah.
and babysit out of the same house.
You got a restraining order on a girl named Baby D. A lot of this felt improvised. Like this whole thing here about like she knew the snacks before they came out. She knew about there's some new Twinkie that shoots glitter in your mouth. I don't know. It's hard to believe that like a lot of this stuff was written in the script exactly as it is on screen. And I don't know Mike Epps. I know him from things, but I don't know what. He's a funny guy in these movies. Arguably funnier than Smokey. I don't know if that's sacrilegious to say in
No,
certain circles, but
I was absolutely intending to bring that up.
yeah.
That is it sad that there's no Chris Tucker? Kinda.
Right.
Like I like
Kinda.
Smokey,
Uh-huh.
but no, I think Mike Epps did a great job.
He did.
And
But yeah,
I at no point found myself going, "Damn, I wish that was Smokey."
same. Yeah. I completely agree. Day Day feels like his own character. Day Day works. It would have been great to have both of them maybe, but yeah, I agree. It's hard to say that he's worse. But we just missed the first shit that John Witherspoon takes in the movie. And there's like, just a couple of random sort of unnecessarily racist things in the movie, but life is also full of random unnecessary racist things. I don't know, and especially amongst at the time that this was made, maybe amongst different minority groups, but yeah, it's like sort of anti-Arab stuff, which this was also early 2000s. There was just anti-Arab stuff.
That was
everywhere.
definitely a thing at the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, late '90s, early 2000s.
So she keyed the car.
Making not even want to drive it.
Yeah. Right. Day Day's looking to be made to feel better, and Craig is having none of it. And here is and they do the homage to the Miss Jackson or whatever the lady's name is. The
Johnson.
damn Miss Johnson, yeah. and Day Day does not want Craig to go and talk to her because she is the sister of those three Mexican gangsters, but also
The Jokers.
right, the Jokers. But also, it seems like he doesn't want him to talk to her because at one point in time he tried to talk to her and got shut down because now Day Day's over there going, "Yeah, she's not gonna give you none, Greg. You ain't gonna get it." Yeah.
Yeah, there's some jealousy there.
Oh yeah, I bet you don't get it. I hope you don't get it.
And this is just such a classic. Like, it's absolutely cliche. And where's the line between cliche and classic?
Uh-huh.
The trio there, where the oldest is the smallest, and then they just get progressively larger.
Is that so? I
Right.
wasn't sure which I wasn't sure which one was the young one, but it's they did it like one of them just got out of prison, the other one got out of like young adult prison, and then the third one got out of juvie. But I wasn't sure which was which. So you're saying he's the oldest one,
Yeah,
the one with the okay,
because he's in charge. And that's why the
right?
big one is Baby Joker,
Okay,
which makes me
I
laugh
missed when
every
they
time he says it.
yeah.
Come on, Baby Joker.
And now, so they sick the dog on Craig, and Craig takes his belt off and starts beating the dog. And right as you, as the viewer, start to think, "Holy shit, he's beating the dog," Baby Joker or their Big Joker is like, "He's beating the dog!" Like he has the same exact sort of response that the audience does, or that I did, anyways. Because whenever you see somebody beating a dog in a movie, even if you're like, "Come on, well, he's beating a dog," but yeah, he gets very sensitive. He's very, very concerned about the dog. And I think that we missed it, but they did that very common film trope where you don't think a character speaks a language, but they do speak the language. Because
Yes.
yeah, Craig says to the girl he's talking to, like, say something in Spanish. She
I
does,
love that they
then
never
he's in the
translate
back.
any of the Spanish.
They translated her one line, didn't they?
Her, but
Right.
not the Jokers.
Yes, you're right.
Theirs is always just not translated.
Yep.
And I
And
like it.
yeah. And so here we are, about 40 minutes, I think, maybe roughly into the movie, and I think this is the first scene where we're officially seeing weed. Is that right? Other than at the very beginning.
I, yeah, because he doesn't pull that joint out until they're at the record store.
Right.
But yes, we do. We get a.
And this is like strong weed because he takes one hit and just starts coughing and then passes out, basically. That's a good freeze frame right there. And another good freeze frame. But yeah, done. He's out, but he's still handing. He's out, but he's passing the joint. Craig's like, this
This is
is
something I like. I can't smoke them anymore anyway, but
blunts.
I wished that I had had the skills to roll
Mm.
a blunt. I was almost never successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's an art.
Yeah, I was never a blunt roller either, but
I have
there was
friends
always one around. Exactly. Yeah.
real fucking good at it.
I haven't smoked a real blunt, like a real Philly that's been cleaned out and packed with weed in a very long time. I've smoked joints rolled with like a blunt wrapper.
See, at this point, I think the nicotine would make me sick.
Yeah.
It has been so long.
Okay, so now we're gearing up for shit number 2. Because the way that so Debo and his cousin got in this vehicle. By the way, the stupidest. So they saw John Witherspoon, Craig's dad, at a burrito stand. So they used a payphone to call the burrito stand and have the guy that works the burrito stand tell Craig's dad that Craig's in trouble. I guess maybe that was a thing that happened in the late 90s. Occasionally, the guy that was serving you food would tell you about a family emergency. So that's what got John Witherspoon now heading to where Craig is, and Debo and his cousin broke into the dog pound vehicle when that was happening, and there they're going. They're on their way. The only reason why they're going to take a long time to get there is because of the burrito that John Witherspoon ate that was covered in hot sauce and is going to have to make him take another shit. Or else they'd be there by now. But yeah, we missed when she passes out and her head falls right on Craig's lap, and then the uncle gets jealous. But then they go upstairs to bang
Loudly.
loudly.
Bang loudly.
The look on her face when she looks at Craig though as they're heading upstairs, and she goes, "We'll be back in a minute," and then just like look, gives him this like look of like disappointment, but also hopefulness that Craig will come around and give her what she's looking for, because she is so thirsty. And this weed is so good that not only is it making people pass out, but then also be horny 10 minutes later, but it's also making Craig hallucinate.
The last
Name on
time
the
I
table.
saw Craig get high, he hallucinated. It
He
seems
did,
to
but
be a thing he does.
yeah, but this is, hearing a dog statue bark is one thing. Seeing uh, a woman dancing naked in front of you, that's another thing. But yeah, that is a Craig. Craig's just an imaginative guy. And here we go. We got a random Michael Rappaport sighting. I don't know if you're a Rappaport fan, but
I
I'm
love Michael
okay.
Rappaport.
Good. Yeah, I do too. I always get happy when I see him pop up in something. But here he is for a little bit of racial humor here.
And he is not credited in this.
He's not?
No.
Interesting. But yeah, Rappaport's a funny guy. I first discovered him in the movie True Romance. He was Brad Pitt's roommate. Brad Pitt was a big time stoner in that movie. Just sat on the couch getting high all day.
Might be my favorite Brad Pitt role.
That movie's my favorite. A lot of things. Might be my favorite Brad Pitt role. Might be my favorite Tarantino script. That's not a hot take. It's, don't hold that against me. Tarantino's written a lot of good scripts, we all know. But
Everybody has a different favorite Tarantino, though.
yeah, and mine varies. Like, you could ask me. That's why I said it might be my favorite.
I
I
have
have,
a hard time between a couple of them.
yeah,
But I also, I love them for different reasons. So
fair. Yeah, and Quentin's got different versions of himself. I mean, there's the Pulp Fiction Quentin, and then there's Kill Bill Quentin, and there's Glorious Bastards Quentin. Like, those three are all pretty different and hard to just put side by side by side. Pinky's record and disc. I love and I think you share this affinity as well. Where much like myself, you just love seeing like record stores and video stores in movies, right?
I love going to record stores.
Right.
I remember. So I grew up in think we have discussed deep West Texas.
with the cows.
Very small town, maybe 50,000, less than 50,000, I'm sure. Many of which were retired military.
Mhm.
But so record stores were few and far between. Like we
Mhm.
had none most of the time. And I so remember though when this cat moved to town and opened a used record store
Mhm.
by the university. And we became good friends because I would go there 3, 4 days a week, dig through records and listen to what he would play, and sometimes ask him to play one, talk about records. I bought a lot of records. I love record stores.
You still go a lot, yeah?
No, because they are few and far between.
Well, yeah.
But when we are in a town and find a little used record store, we always go in.
Mhm.
And I usually walk out with something because it'd be rude not to.
Yeah, usually when so I'm trying to help my son with his homework here at the same exact time that we are doing this. Um, talk, talking about weed while also helping him with Aboriginal genocide studies. Anyways, um, it's hard to go into a store like that and then leave without buying something. When you go into a small store, a mom and pop store, whether it's a record store or a bodega or whatever it is, like a head shop, like you gotta buy something. You just have to. Otherwise, you're what? You're just a tourist. And I forget to mention, I think this token white character that they put in was definitely, I would say, a response to the fact that people like us, uh, well, you did discover this movie later, but people like me, suburban white people, really loved Friday, like really did. And so I feel like the studio with Next Friday was like, it was big with the suburban white folks. Let's get the white character in it. So that is, and let's just have him basically be um, Harlan Corbin. Is that his name's character from Half Baked? That's basically who he is in this movie. You're cool, like same character. And they couldn't help themselves with with the fat joke. So again, with this one character here. Child caring classes start on Wednesday. This poor girl, she just wants a good man like Day Day to raise her baby. And it's because, I'm going to guess that it has something to do with the fact that everyone in the neighborhood knows that they won the lottery. And supposedly, presumably, have more money than anyone else in Rancho Cucamonga, but not really. Rancho Cucamonga, did I get that right?
Yes,
Okay.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, Day Day is over there negotiating his freedom by basically pimping out Craig to his pregnant girlfriend's larger sister because she is gonna kill him. Baby D. Craig actually has a decent line here. Fat phobic as it may be, but what is it?
I can't remember.
It was something about the larger little sister. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
fat joke,
Mhm.
which I
Sure.
could have done without.
For sure.
People like fat jokes.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a big thing. Big thing. Fat bitches leave love too, Craig.
That is a nice sentiment, at
It is.
least.
Oh, here we go. He's got a shit again. It's been 20 minutes since his last shit. So, guts are bubbling. He's in LA County traffic. He's trying to get out of the traffic. By the way, if you've never been in a situation like this, consider yourself lucky.
Oh God, yes,
Too often.
I live
Too
in
often for
fear,
me. Yeah. Um,
particularly of like in Austin, being on the upper deck
yeah.
of 35.
uh, did you ever make like I will say right now on record that I have so far, knocking on wood, I have an unblemished record of never having an accident as a grown person. But there have been times when it has been such a close call. Have you ever like had such a close call that you've made peace with the fact that it might happen? Where
Oh,
like
oh
you'll just
yeah.
yeah, you'll just be like, okay, like if this happens, I'll just rush inside, toss my clothes in the washing machine, jump in the shower, and just get it cleaned up. But yeah, like you're
Oh,
like
oh no, you mean that kind of happened? No, no, I
yeah.
have not.
Oh, what did you
I
mean
mean,
then?
it has never happened, but I have been close.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's never happened to me either, but I've made peace with the fact that it might, and just been like, okay, like if it does happen, I will accept it. You know. Ah, yes. They discover they're trying to get the smoke smell out, so they just start using a vacuum cleaner. That is their white coworkers' idea. Start using a vacuum cleaner, but on several occasions it just sucks against Day Day's
No,
vacuum.
no, he's doing that totally on purpose. He
Yeah.
thinks oh yeah, he thinks it's hilarious.
And what did you think of Pinky? What do you think of this whole character?
He made me laugh. That's
Okay,
what I
yeah.
thought. He's a caricature,
Uh,
but some of the funniest movies ever made have had, and Eddie Murphy has been several of them in his own movies sometimes. Uh, no, hilarious. One of my favorite parts of the film.
I like when he says, "You must maybe spill my yak on my $200 suit." Clifton Powell is the actor. He
I love
was
his
in.
car. I love his driver. I love his suit.
Yeah, the driver was funny. Yeah, so Pinky just owns the record store here, and he's about to think. So it was the door. Why does he think Craig is robbing the liquor
Because he
the
comes
record
out the
store?
back. He comes out the back.
Uh, okay,
Customers shouldn't be in the back.
right. All right, you get a good point there.
And he might overreact just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I just got an email from Popeyes. All week long, they have a chicken sandwich for $4.20.
Nice.
Uh, uh, and they are monopolizing on that. I respect any business that embraces the weed culture like
You
that.
know, I had that was a question I was going to ask this week or next, but not during the film.
Okay.
But at some point, yes, we should talk about the non-cannabis brands embracing
Yes.
420.
And they are so in this email. Not only do they have a chicken sandwich for $4.20, but they also have a. They're also advertising strawberry lemonade and a strawberry biscuit. I mean, these are stoner things.
I don't know if I want a strawberry biscuit, but I'd try it because I might like it.
Yeah, I
You
had a
know,
beer
I
with
like
it.
strawberry jelly
I think
on a
you'd like it.
biscuit.
Yeah, no,
I
fruit
yes.
biscuit's good.
Can I? We don't have a Popeyes now. I feel bad.
No, I'll have to try it. Love
Tempted
that
me.
chicken from Popeyes.
Fighting over a gun. See, that's we had to have a gun.
Yeah.
We had to have a fight over a gun or a gun fight.
Uh,
Wouldn't be Friday without it.
we might even have another one.
And yes, if you have not been following along with the story at this point, uh, they have discovered that no one has paid property taxes.
Right.
You have at any point in time owned a home, you know that that is one of the joys of owning a home that is usually taken care of for you, by the way, by your mortgage
But
payment.
again, it totally makes sense though that character wouldn't know
Wouldn't
about property
know.
taxes.
Oh, this happens to a lot of people
Yes.
uh, when their house is paid for.
Right. What do you mean I have to pay taxes? I own the house. It's my house. You don't
You
own the
know you
land.
do, but it just all comes at once. It's like, oh, boom, you owe this big chunk of money.
Yeah.
You know, they don't take it a little bit a month like they do when you have a mortgage.
Mm.
That shit's just all rolled in to one payment.
Can you opt to do it monthly?
It would depend on the county, honestly,
Mm.
I would suppose. Because the county handles these things. So I mean, you could do your own little monthly, like just set up an account and write a check
Right.
every
Right.
month.
Yeah. To yourself.
Yeah, which is what the smart person would do. They
Sure.
call that budgeting, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Take
into
your word
that kind
for
of
it.
stuff, man.
No. Budgeting gets in the way of all my little things I like to spend
My
money on.
brain freaks out with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we didn't come here to talk about that. We came here to talk about weed.
Yeah. So catch us up though. So what's going on? What's the plan to get this money?
Well, at this point, we don't have a plan to get this money. We just know we have to get this money, and it is about to be a lot harder because we no longer have jobs.
Yeah. Daddy, I
Uh,
didn't know you had titties. He and his wife are into some weird shit. If he missed the closet full of dildos and all that earlier, or maybe it's
I,
not that weird. I don't know.
I
But
believe his wife is into all of this, and he is happy to go along.
he's along for the ride, man, and he's
Yes.
on. It was said earlier. So yeah, the three things that they spent all the lottery money on were Day Day's car, the house, and Viagra, an undisclosed amount of Viagra that and again, when this movie came out, Viagra was still pretty new, and it was, if everyone can remember, or if you weren't around, you'll take our word for it. But in the early 2000s, Viagra humor was just everywhere. You couldn't
Oh
make a
God, you could not
comedy
get
without
away.
talking about Viagra.
You could not get it once it came up,
Yeah. Oh, once
and
it
it
came
came
up.
up all the time because that little blue pill. And I gotta say, of all the technology that has been wonderful,
Yeah.
uh, if I never had to hear about boner pills again, I would be a happy man.
uh,
I can't get away from people talking about boner pills on TV, on the radio, on every podcast. Somebody wants to sell me boner pills.
yeah. And now they're like you barely even need a prescription for them. I mean, you do like you could. I mean, I could while we're doing this,
Shoot,
according
shoot,
to I could go to an
shoot the
ad.
doctor an email, and
Right.
yeah, fine, that's good enough.
Yeah. Not even your own doctor though, just the doctors that work for what any of these companies.
Yes, the pharmaceutical
And they even
salespeople will.
and what's even sketchier to me is when they advertise it now, they'll literally say things like, even if you don't need it, you should get it because why not? I think there's we're in the world of wrestling. There's a podcaster, Eric Bischoff. He always does these commercials for it, and that's his whole thing. He's like, you might not need it, but it's fun with it, so get it. It is a drug. It is a prescription drug that has stopped people's hearts at various points in time. I think so.
It's originally for heart problems
Right,
or
Mr.
something like
Jones.
that.
Figuring out a way to get Mr. Jones a cameo in this movie. Uh, they didn't even try, right? They didn't even try to make it work. They just when John Witherspoon has to take another shit, we're gonna put him in the bathroom. He's gonna come out and he's gonna use the 35, 45-minute joke. And if you're keeping track at home, that was either the second or third time that joke has been used in this movie. But yes, Viagra. I don't know. Do your thing. I guess if you're
We are back in our little
if you're into it.
cul-de-sac.
And here they're having the party.
The Jokers have some women.
Another character struggling with
And
feeling like he's got a shit coming on.
when the Jokers pulled up, they were seen carrying something that looked odd. Something they would not normally be carrying into the house.
Right, what is it?
It
It's
looks
like a tailpipe,
suspicious.
right?
Huh?
Is it a tailpipe?
I'm not 100% sure what it actually was supposed to be. Because I was high and I'm not mechanically minded, so I don't know what it is. Tailpipe, probably. That would make more sense than anything I was thinking.
No, I don't know what you were thinking.
But Craig suspects that
yeah,
it is something interesting. Again, not knowing what's in there, the links that they're going to check it out is kind of funny. As in,
yes, in the links that they're going to check it out, I mean, like
weak
that
plot.
they need to go in right now. Like these three dangerous guys are all home, but yeah, they need to do it now. So the character that we just saw, I never forget what's his name. What's the white kid's name? But he's on dog duty, whatever his name is. He's got the baloney to try and
Yeah,
convince
which we
the
got to
dog
talk about.
about Oscar Mayer lunch meat
No, no,
giving dogs baloney.
giving dogs weed.
Oh yeah, don't do it. Is that what we're gonna say?
Oh, don't do it. No,
Okay.
it is toxic to dogs and cats. It's not good for them at all.
Uh-huh. Do they know that? I mean, have there been studies that have shown that?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. It is a known thing
Uh-huh.
that they have had to be treated for because
Oh.
like it rarely is fatal.
it also just, my issue with it before I even knew that is just that they're not consenting. They're not, like you're drugging an animal that doesn't know what's happening, and maybe it sucks to just be a
Yeah,
dog or a cat
they
who's
have different
high.
nervous systems
Right,
and different cannabinoid receptors and
and they have no idea maybe why all of a sudden everything is slow, or they're just hungrier than they should. So it's not, there's no consent involved. So
but even if there is, like I have had people tell
uh
me, oh, the dog comes up and wants it. No,
no,
it is
it is
toxic
still toxic. Yeah.
to them.
Well,
And
now I double
yeah,
uh
so you
think
actually
it's a bad idea.
you're
Yeah.
gonna make him sick.
Right.
And that's not fun for anybody. And it can like they can go into spasms, uh, occasionally coma.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So yeah, it's not worth doing. So yeah, we have broke it in now to
Love these
the
posters.
Joker's house, Joker's den.
All these black light animal posters.
But yeah, we run out of bologna, so we give the dog a weed brownie,
Right.
which not knowing it is toxic and all that, it's funny. I get it. It's
I
a
mean, a
movie.
brownie without weed is not good for a dog.
No,
Chocolate can kill
chocolate is also
dogs. Right.
chocolate is probably worse. The chocolate in the brownie worse than the weed in the brownie.
Yeah.
So
But like you said, I do think it's a funny gag. Oh, 1 second.
Greg has taken all the risks.
All right. So yeah, Craig is taking all the risks. I heard you say. So he's inside the house now. Then.
Which also he has no reason to think he is going to be in Rancho Cucamonga long term,
Ah.
but he seems to be making some big promises.
Well, and he does think that he's going to be there long term. His father, when he drops him off there, his father says, "Never come back." He lets him know that he's not welcome to go home again. So,
Oh, you're right.
right,
That's
yeah,
right.
because and the reason why, and yeah, is because um, his sister moved out and he just wants to be naked all the time with
That's right.
Craig's
I totally forgot the.
he described it in great detail. I'm gonna come home from work tonight. I'm gonna get naked. Your mother's gonna get naked. Gonna watch her big booty go bump bump bump, and all kinds of things that no son really wants to hear about his mother. But yeah, so he does. So Craig, as far as Craig knows, he's there now. He's in Rancho Cucamonga. So it is important to him to help save the house and get the girl. Did I always have this glare on me? Where's that?
No, that's new.
Oh. Oh, look at that. That's so much better. Harsh light is not my face's friend. Yeah, a little Indian humor, anti-Indian humor. Like I said, there's just a little bit of random sort of racial humor throughout, but it's always minority to minority. So So I don't know if that's punching
And
down.
at the time,
I don't
a
know.
very common joke. I mean,
Right.
it was a running thing on The Simpsons.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Thank you. Come again
Yep.
every week. So of course, it now that becomes a reference, which it's like a step removed from actual racism.
Right.
So you almost forget that it is.
Yep. So John Witherspoon got to his brother's house though, covered in shit. And yeah, I like that. I wasn't sure if that line was on the screen, but when he
You know,
says,
I was gonna
"Put some
say
paper down," I think it's a good line.
one thing that I kind of like
Uh-huh.
again about the John Witherspoon character is the level of confidence
Yeah.
that this man has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got shit on me. Ain't nothing I can do about it. My
Nope.
kid's in trouble.
Dude, he is just unapologetically. He doesn't like even just the little mannerisms, the way he walks, like it's kind of sort of cartoonish. It's just it's clear that he is a man who is very comfortable with who he is and just does not give a fuck what you think. Like
Yeah.
he will go to a 5-star restaurant and take a shit in the bathroom and come outside and tell everybody there about it. Like he doesn't care at all. But so the cover story for why Craig and Day Day are over at the neighbor's house is because they're looking for sugar. But the Mexicans are not necessarily believing them. Oh yeah, and I guess we when I forget where I'm going. I'm high. Don't tell anyone. All right, so second gun in the movie now. And you know, maybe there's
And we're
some.
gonna sing the Friends song.
Okay, that's one of my favorite parts. Friends. How many
But you
of us
can.
have the friends? like, he's tied up. He thinks he's gonna die, and as like a last ditch effort to try and just reach some sort of empathy, he sings "Friends." So good. I'm not a gun guy. Do you know what kind of gun that is? Is that a 357 Magnum?
It very well could be. Yeah.
It,
It's
it's a
it's most likely. I am not great at eyeballing them,
uh
but that's a big fucking revolver. So
It
yeah.
is, and I think it goes with the whole like it doesn't look like the type of gun that he would have had when he was living in the hood. It doesn't look like a hood gun. It looks like the gun that like everything he's doing is like what a poor person thinks that like some rich guy in the suburbs should do. So he's got the big giant like Dirty Harry gun, and it's just little details there. I think that's what's going on with like every choice that that guy has. Tyrone. That's the cousin's name. So yeah, so in case you forgot that Debo and his cousin were in this movie, which I actually just might have forgotten, they're still in the movie. They were asleep in the back of the truck the whole time, but now that the third act is like fully heating up and the climax is coming, it's time for them to wake up, kick their way out
But
of the
you
truck.
can't open those from the inside, it turns out.
No, you can't. So he had to use his Zeus powers.
And he left his cousin.
Yes, he did. You're right, he did. Oh, and here comes the Smokey line. A classic Smokey, you got knocked the fuck out, delivered by John Witherspoon. And so obviously, like when this movie came out, the first Friday was already established in pop culture. That's why like the lines that they repeated in this movie like had already just become like just such known parts of the cultural lexicon that they
But
kind of
you gotta
had
put
to.
them in, yeah.
Right.
Like seeing a Die Hard movie and they don't see Yippee Ki
Yeah. Which maybe he didn't say that in the last couple of Die Hard movies. I wouldn't know, and I'll never know because,
No, I
as
gave
far as
up.
I'm concerned, yeah, no, Die Hard ended with in the late '90s with Samuel L. Jackson. That was the last Die Hard movie I will ever see.
My last one was actually shit, what was it?
Well, there's only
Die
5 of them,
Hard.
I think.
Die Hard with a
With a Vengeance, that was the one
Vengeance?
with Samuel L. Jackson.
No, what was the one after that?
With Justin Long, that was Live Free or Die Hard.
Yes, Live Free or Die Hard. That was my last one.
Okay.
God, that was bad.
And I didn't see it, and I heard that the one after that, which might have been called, I don't know what it was called. I don't even want to
Die
look it up.
Hard and Die Again.
Yeah, whatever it was called, it was supposed to be a lot worse than even that one was. So, which uh, fun thing, and I think the reason why is because Bruce Willis never wanted Die Hard to be a comedy. Bruce Willis like fought with John McTiernan, like, why are we delivering why is this guy making jokes? This is a serious movie. This should not have jokes. He didn't get it. He didn't get that like the whole reason why it worked was because he was a funny character. And so I think in those later sequels, he just played it probably the way that he always thought it should be played, which is straight laced, which is just all wrong. But okay, so here we go. So
Chico saved
everything just kind of ends. Like
the
everything
the dog though. I love that the dog saved them out of his love for Roach,
yes.
who had gotten him high,
Yeah.
and they snuck the pipe out full of money.
Gonna feel real good to pay my taxes.
And the Korean lady next door.
Who called the cops though? How did the cops get there? Oh, the wife, the aunt said that she was gonna call them. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the cops just basically show up right at the fever pitch, so we don't see a rematch between Debo and Craig.
Yep, they arrest Devo and they arrest the Jokers.
Yeah.
But now he's going home.
Yeah, I guess John Witherspoon had a change of heart. I was gonna say he's going home because it's safe, but yeah, I guess
But
he got tired of being. So
he wasn't
he wasn't
supposed to
even
be
there for a
allowed to come
day.
home.
He wasn't supposed to be allowed to come home, and in all this whole movie takes place there in a day. So John
Yeah.
Witherspoon never even got to go home and be naked with his wife. He didn't. That was his whole that character. That so it has a sad ending because the whole, if if John Witherspoon is the main character of this movie, his whole goal was just to be naked at home with his wife without his kids, and his kid fucked that up for him royally.
Well, except no,
And
his kid really didn't though.
we fucked it up by
Debo
yeah, I guess all right. Debo fucked it
Debo
up for him.
caused all the
Right.
problems for him.
You're right. You're right.
He wouldn't have been there for any of that.
That's right.
Actually, Craig probably would have died.
Now I want to know if in that final Friday movie, which may or may not be happening according to the latest news, I want to see if they're going to bring back
Oh, I don't think.
Day Day. You don't think what?
I was gonna say I don't think they're far enough along to know what they're gonna do.
I bet they have plans. I mean, I know the whole plan. I know that it hinges on them getting Chris Tucker back. I know that's the whole sort of like goal, like reason for wanting to do it is to finally reunite Craig and Smokey. I think. Let's see. Final Friday.
Da 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 da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Da-na-na-na-na. Last Friday is what it's called. That's why Final Friday was turning up nothing. But okay, last Friday. Uh, yeah, I mean it's on IMDb, but it just has a cast Ice Cube. But let's see.
That's
I know who won't be back. I know John Witherspoon won't be back. I know Debo, R.I.P. way too young, probably. I don't know how old he was actually, but Tiny Lister couldn't have been that old. But he unfortunately won't be back. Um, Bernie Mac, who was in the first one, but not this one, he wouldn't be back either. But that might be it.
was Tiny Lister in the third movie.
I believe so. Speaking of the third movie, okay, for Ice Cube, Mike Epps, John Witherspoon. Maybe not.
I don't see a mention of him
Yeah.
here on the old interwebs.
No, Tommy Tiny Lister did not appear in Friday After Next.
Then again,
Uh,
how many times can you work Debo into a script?
as many times as you want. Yes. I mean, he certainly didn't need to be in this one,
He
and
does
it
not
didn't
have
make
a
any logical
range.
sense for why he
It's
was right.
it's not like you could do something other than exactly what they did.
Right. Well, they didn't have a rematch in this one.
Yeah.
So had they set up the next movie as like
Nah, we don't need that.
no. It says in Friday After Next, the storyline shifts focus to new characters and situations. And I don't want to give anything else away because I think we're going to watch it. But it does say Tommy Lister Jr. passed away in December of 2020 at the age of 62 due to heart disease. 2020 due to heart disease. So was he a COVID fatality? Could have been. That's
I hear those things happen.
yeah. 62 though. So young, too young for sure, but that's actually older than I thought that he was. So he would have been 62 in 2020. Okay, never mind. So at first I read that wrong, and I thought that would have made him a lot younger than Hogan for when they did No Holds Barred, but Hogan's got to be around 67, right? Which is how old Tiny would have been. So yeah, they were about the same age. So next week, we doing Friday After Next?
Well, that brings up the question: do we want to run that into the ground?
Maybe.
Which we kind of tend to do. Uh, or go somewhere weird.
Tell me where. Tell me where. Tell me where weird.
So I've been getting the itch to revisit a film I have seen exactly once, but I did buy a copy of it. Uh, there's I don't remember much about it, but there's at least one scene that will make me immensely happy when I watch it. Have you ever heard of Bong Water?
No.
It's a 1998 film. Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's less popular brother.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
Amy
know Luke.
Locane, who you will know when you see her. because she was in so many movies
Oh wait, this
in
is
that era.
Brittany Murphy, who's
Brittany Murphy
a
has
huge celebrity crush.
a smaller part in this. There is some Andy Dick action, for better or worse. Uh,
And Jack Black.
Jack Black and Kyle Gass both.
It,
But
it seems like the fact that this came out in
now, Jack Black
1998.
and Kyle Glass are in this movie for a very tiny piece. So
But they're in it.
don't be expecting like it's more of a
Yeah.
cameo thing. Totally sells.
It doesn't make sense to me that this movie wasn't on my radar, based on when it came out and who was in it. Well, actually, 98. There was a okay. There was there was maybe a 1 or 2 like a 1 year period like in the 90s where somehow I was between movie obsession, and it might have been 98, like in the early mid 90s, and then because 99 I was definitely all about everything because that was a big year. So 98 maybe is a little bit of a black spot for me because yeah, it just seems like I should know this movie. Long story short, that's what I'm trying to say.
I got
I
into
should
it
know this
later
movie.
though. Like I got into it in the 2000s.
Uh-huh.
Through the magic of DVDs and video stores.
The greatest magic of all. So
Uh,
yeah, let's do it. I'm into it.
but yeah, it's about a weed dealer.
Yeah. Can I read the tagline, or should we keep that secret?
By all means, read the
Okay.
tagline.
An indolent artist in Portland, Oregon, becomes addicted to marijuana, prompting his girlfriend to flee to New York City with a heroin addict. Does that sound like what you remember?
That sounds like what I remember.
Okay, nice.
And the adventures they have along the way.
Uh-huh.
Uh, including cameos by JB and KG.
Yeah, they are tenacious
And
D.
while they are not Tenacious D in this movie, it is very. They kind of are. Well, let's just say they are. They do one of their own songs.
Well, I mean this with all the respect in the world for both of them because I love them both without any reservation. But they couldn't help but be who they are. Like it's Shaq Black and Kyle Gass. Like that's Tenacious D.
So, like, did you get into Tenacious D before they had the album?
Yes.
Like my favorite Tenacious D's were like that period when they were still doing like live, a little bit more reckless
Mm-hmm.
cover stuff for sure. Uh, more of the funny haha and stuff that they can't probably legally do at the level they are at today.
Right. But yes, Tenacious D. I think I've been with them pretty close to the start. Big fan. But on that note, we have completed Friday and Friday after no, we have completed Friday and next Tuesday we're going to watch Bongwater, and the Tuesday after next we might watch the Friday after next.
We might watch the Friday after next.
I just wanted to see if I could get all of that out without
Tripping.
tying my tongue.
And you did an amazing job,
Thank
may
you.
I say.
Appreciate it.
And
All right,
yeah, with
so
that, we are going to remind you, as always, change bong water. You should be changing it every day.
change it
But if you have
before you
not,
like and after you subscribe.
change it tonight.
Yeah.
And we shall see you next week
We
with more
don't
fun
have
and
a
merriment
closing song.
and weed. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.